Hi everyone, and welcome to dialogue number 4. It's been over 2 months since the last video. Back then, it was still being developed in Unity. Now the entire project has been migrated to the Godot engine. All the previous features are now up and running in the new engine, and the development has resumed on the various gameplay systems. Beyond migrating engines, much of this time was spent refactoring and optimizing the project's systems. At the same time, I also implemented several new systems and features. So first you will notice the new terrain. I rebuilt word generation during the migration, and the terrain should feel much better now. More importantly, I have now implemented a visual generation editor. Every part of word generation, including terrain height, biomes, and the placement of different word features, can be edited visually in this editor. I had previously built a similar terrain generation editor in Unity, but it was fairly basic and only controlled terrain height. Much of the other logic was still hard-coded. This new editor is much more complete, and almost every element of word generation can now be configured in one place with a real-time preview. This makes it much easier to edit and debug a word generator. I can also create multiple word generators for players to choose from when starting a new game. For now, the terrain generation is basically in its final form. I may still add a mountainous mining region later, but no major changes are planned in the near future. Next, you can see that wild berry bushes now spawn in the world. Colonists can harvest them to collect berries. After being harvested, the bushes return to a growing state. They serve as an early game source of food. I also implemented a basic farming system. You can now designate farming zones on the ground and assign colonists to the farmer profession. They will then respond to the condition of the land by clearing, tilling, sowing, and harvesting it. For now, potatoes are the only crop. Once they are mature, colonists will harvest them and then begin the next planting cycle. Like berries, potatoes can also be used as basic food for the colonists. Speaking of food, colonists now have some basic needs of their own. For now, I have added hunger and stamina. A colonist's actions consume stamina, while stamina recovers over time by consuming hunger. When a colonist gets hungry, they will try to find food and eat to restore their hunger meter. They can take food from the colonist's stockpiles or chests. If there is a table and an available chair nearby, they will choose a seat. After getting the food, they will carry it to the chair and sit down to eat. If there is no suitable seat, they will simply eat on the spot. There is no cooking or food preference system yet, but colonists now need to consume resources produced by the colony, rather than being units that can work forever. I have also made some adjustments to the storage system. When colonists put items into or take them from a stockpile, they now prioritize the nearest available tile. Items in stockpiles are also displayed as separate entities that can be selected and inspected individually. There is now a unified colonist management panel. From here, you can assign a profession to each colonist. I have also rebuilt the crafting order interface. It's still fairly basic, but it is now much more convenient to use. I have also implemented and improved several interaction features. Various entities in the world can now be selected, and you can view detailed information about them. The building controls and previews have also been completely reworked. The game now also includes a first-person mode. Players can switch from the top-down view to first-person, then move and jump around the colony to observe buildings and production activity from a colonist's perspective. Basic interactions also remain available in first-person mode. For now, first-person mode is mainly for observation. You cannot yet gather how or take part in construction directly. How players might directly participate in the work of the colony still needs further design. One thing I can see for certain is that I probably will not add a feature that lets players possess and directly control any colonist. That would conflict with the core colony simulation gameplay, and I consider it a poor design choice. So those are the main features that I have implemented recently. Next, I would like to talk about the current state of the project and the development roadmap going forward. The overall goal right now is to reach a genuinely playable version 0.1. To achieve that goal, the project is still in its framework and systems development phase. The goal of this phase is to implement all of the game's core systems without polishing the details, gameplay, or overall experience. For example, when implementing a tree chopping system, all I need is a tree that can be chopped down and drops resources. How the tree looks, how long chopping should take, or what animation should play, whether the interface looks good or how much wood it should drop, none of that matters yet. The system only needs to be testable and workable. Once all of the systems and features required for version 0.1 are complete, I will move into the second phase, creating assets and filling out the game content. That includes making more blocks, items, recipes, building blueprints and craft types, as well as minerals, colonist models, animations, sound effects, user interfaces, and more. Also, because this project has not yet gone through any real art design, I will first need to formally establish the game's art direction. After that, I can begin producing assets in batches. The third and final phase will bring all of these systems and content together for a full pass, focused on details, gameplay, and the overall experience, ultimately resulting in a genuinely playable version. So there is still a great deal of work ahead. Even so, over this long period of development, as the project has continued to grow, I have repeatedly refactored and improved its overall architecture. The project now has a solid foundation, and most of the hardest technical challenges have already been solved. From here, I should be able to develop new features and systems much more quickly. These include recruitment, colony management, room systems, blacksmiths, herbalists, cooks, memory systems, voxel lighting, and sleep, day and night cycles, changing seasons, wildlife, and much more. And by the way, this is a simulation game, so compared with visuals, I think gameplay and systems are more important. Of course, good art is still very important, and I think Stonehearth's art is excellent. But my background is in programming, and I'm currently developing the game entirely on my own, so for now I'm prioritizing the areas I'm best at. Okay, so that's everything for this devlog. Thank you all for your attention and support over the past few months. Your interest and feedback have always been an important source of motivation for me. Thanks for your watching, and see you in the next video.